Coronation Street viewers have been growing increasingly suspicious of Gary Windass and Sarah Platt in recent weeks, and Sunday night's episode finally confirmed that the pair are keeping a major secret. Tension has been building between Gary and Kit Green ever since the investigation into Theo Silverton's death began, with Kit already viewing Gary as his main suspect. During the latest episode, Kit grilled Gary about Todd Grimshaw's missing mobile phone, which was recently discovered in a pawn shop bearing Brody Michaelis' fingerprints. After Brody claimed he had found the phone in a skip outside the local builder's yard, Kit once again focused his attention on Gary. However, Gary managed to provide an explanation that appeared to satisfy the detective. Despite this, Kit remained unconvinced. Later, Sarah overheard him discussing his concerns with Lisa Connor Swain over the phone and quickly arranged a private meeting with Gary. Their secret conversation strongly suggested that the pair are aware of something significant, although it remains unclear whether it is connected to Theo's murder. Before they could reveal much more, their discussion was interrupted when Maria Connor unexpectedly returned home. Sarah was forced to conceal herself while Gary hurried to distract Maria and encourage her to leave the flat. After convincing Maria to join him for dinner at the Rovers, Gary later found himself at the pub when Todd arrived with worrying news. He revealed that Summer Spellman, who is currently awaiting trial for Theo's murder, had been taken to hospital. As Todd accused Summer of deliberately switching off her insulin pump to avoid being in prison, Gary became visibly overwhelmed and stepped outside for some fresh air. Sarah soon joined him, and it was obvious that the burden of their secret was affecting him deeply. Gary admitted that he wasn't sure how much longer he could cope, and confessed that he could no longer continue with the situation. His emotional reaction raises plenty of questions. Is he feeling guilty because he played a role in Theo's death? Are he and Sarah protecting each other from the truth? Or could there be an entirely different secret behind their behavior? Whatever they're hiding, Gary may soon decide that he can no longer keep it buried. Coronation Street viewers have been left scratching their heads after a surprising new twist involving Sarah Platt and Gary Windass, with many fans calling on the show's bosses to improve the pacing and structure of its storylines. The ITV soap's latest murder mystery took another unexpected turn this week. Back in April, villain Theo Silverton was found dead during the show's heavily promoted Murder Week. Theo was one of 5 characters viewers believed could meet a deadly end following months of tension. His death came after a difficult storyline in which he subjected Todd Grimshaw to abuse for nearly a year. Following the murder, several characters quickly fell under suspicion, including Todd himself, Gary, George Shuttleworth, Christina Boyd, Danielle Anderson, and Summer Spellman. Meanwhile, Summer has been formally charged with the crime and is currently receiving treatment in hospital after becoming unwell while in custody. During Sunday night's episode, which aired in a different time slot due to football coverage, suspicions surrounding Gary and Sarah deepened even further. Earlier in the episode, Kit Green questioned Gary about Todd's missing phone, which had been discovered in a skip near the builder's yard. However, because CCTV footage from the night in question had already been erased, the investigation failed to uncover any new evidence. Believing Gary was still concealing something, Sarah later made a phone call requesting an urgent meeting. She soon arrived at Gary's flat, where the pair shared an embrace. Gary attempted to reassure her by insisting that no evidence existed and that everything would be fine. Their conversation was abruptly interrupted when Maria returned home unexpectedly, forcing Sarah to hide, while Gary quickly persuaded Maria to accompany him to the pub. Later at the Rovers, Todd angrily told residents that Summer had stopped taking her insulin. According to him, she had put her own health at risk because she feared being imprisoned for a murder she didn't commit. As the discussion intensified, Gary suddenly rushed outside, telling Maria he felt unwell because he hadn't eaten. Sarah followed him into the yard, where Gary appeared overwhelmed by emotion. He admitted that he was struggling to cope and confessed that he could not continue dealing with the situation much longer. Sarah responded by comforting him with a hug. The scenes immediately sparked debate among viewers, many of whom were unsure what the pair are actually hiding. Some questioned whether Sarah and Gary are secretly involved romantically, while others suspected they could somehow be connected to Theo's death. One fan commented that they initially assumed an affair was taking place, but now believe Gary may have played a larger role in Theo's murder than previously thought. Another viewer said the pair looked extremely suspicious, while others argued that Sarah's calm attitude toward Summer's imprisonment seemed unusual given the circumstances. Some fans also criticized the show's storytelling, suggesting that certain plots drag on for too long, while others move so quickly that important details are left unexplained. With more questions than answers surrounding Sarah and Gary, viewers are now eagerly waiting to discover whether they are covering up a crime, protecting someone else, or hiding an entirely different secret. Gary and Sarah romance exposed in Coronation Street as Maria faces heartbreak. What secret is Gary Windass keeping from his wife Maria Connor? Is he concealing involvement in a murder, or has he rekindled feelings for his former partner? Gary has certainly been attracting suspicion lately. The builder has emerged as one of the main suspects in Theo Silverton's murder after vandalizing Theo's van with a sledgehammer and sending him a threatening message warning that he was coming for him. His history doesn't exactly help his defense either. Gary has previously been linked to the accidental death of Rana Habib and later killed dangerous loan shark Rick Nealon while protecting himself. Never one to tolerate bullies, Gary had plenty of reasons to resent Theo after discovering that he had been secretly tormenting Todd Grimshaw while pretending to be a loyal friend and colleague. Although detectives still lack enough proof to make an arrest, photographs taken during Carla and Lisa's wedding appear to place Gary close to the location where Theo died. Combined with his increasingly secretive behavior, it's easy to see why suspicion continues to grow. If Gary wasn't responsible for Theo's death, then what exactly was he doing on the night in question? Many Coronation Street viewers believe the answer may involve Sarah Platt. Before marrying Maria, Gary shared a passionate and often turbulent relationship with Sarah that lasted several years before eventually collapsing as his criminal activities spiraled out of control. Despite going their separate ways, the former couple remained friends and have recently become noticeably closer once again. In the weeks following Theo's murder, Gary and Sarah have been seen holding several private conversations, raising eyebrows among residents and viewers alike. Their secretive meetings began shortly after the night Sarah was attacked by Jody Ramsey. Adding further complications to the situation, Sarah is currently dating Detective Kit Green, the very officer investigating Theo's murder. Kit has already made it clear that he suspects Gary may know more than he is admitting. Meanwhile, Maria has continued to support her husband throughout the investigation. She even lied to police to protect him, providing a false alibi after he damaged Theo's van by claiming they had been spending private time together at the builder's yard. As Gary and Sarah continue to share secret meetings and emotional conversations, fans are increasingly convinced that they are hiding something major. Whether it's a renewed romance, a dangerous cover-up, or a shocking connection to Theo's death remains one of Weatherfield's biggest mysteries. However, everything could soon change if Maria learns that Gary has secretly rekindled his relationship with Sarah. When Maria points out that Sarah has forgotten Bethany's birthday, Gary immediately jumps to Sarah's defense, leaving Maria surprised by his strong reaction. Coronation Street airs on ITV1 on weekday evenings at 8:30 p.m. and is also available to stream on ITVX.